Welcome to Your Voice is Your Wealth podcast, where spiritual depth meets that powerful good girl gone bad voice. Meet your host, me, Jacinta Renee. I'm your spiritual sales leading hype queen. Today, we're gonna dive deep into something that might be holding you back from reaching your full potential. The bag lady leadership. That's right. We're going to explore all the ways clinging to other people's baggage is actually hindering your ability to succeed, to receive the abundance and success you deserve. It's time to unpack, release, and step into your true power. You know what? I absolutely love that intro. Do you know why? Because it makes me feel so pumped up. The sound, it makes me feel so fueled up. And the reason I've created this space is because I want you to feel pumped up. I want you to feel every week, feel inspired. I want you to feel repositioned. I want you to feel like this is the greatest pivot you are going through in your life. And most of all, I want you to feel supported. I want you to feel like this is the space and place where visions are built, dreams are moved on, and we don't sleep on ourselves. Okay? We don't sleep on ourselves. So, welcome to the space, to Your Voice is Your Wealth. And it's to get here has been a journey to be here. But I'm so glad that we're here together. And I'm so glad we're about to do this. And most of all, I'm so glad that you decided to take another step in your own journey. So for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm going to share just a little bit about me. And I'm a sales leader. I have been a sales leader for the last 20 years. My experience has been being a sales leader within the luxury industry for a very long time and having companies and organizations trust me with their businesses, trust me enough to generate sales and lead their teams in really unique ways. These are 7 to 8 figure businesses that have trusted me with my sales leadership. Then I went on to become a sales trainer, and I would go into companies to train teams. And I do not take it for granted at all that you are trusting me right now to lead you. You're trusting me to share the insights that I've learned along the way of being a sales leader. And so this podcast is for the woman in leadership that knows she's a baddie. She knows who she is, but there's something that just holds her back. There's something that gets in the way it just gets in the way of receiving her best, receiving her all. She's done some really amazing things, but there's just something in the way. And what we're going to do today is we're going to move that obstacle out of your way. Say A if you're with me, okay? We're going to move those obstacles, those mental blocks, those challenges that feel like they're all consuming. We're going to bust them out of the way because there's nothing that's going to hold you back. And I have to say this, with sales leadership, I always come from a very spiritual grounding when it comes to sharing ideas and concepts and universal law. I'm the type of leader that doesn't care what your religion is, what your spiritual background is. I don't care, whatever, right? You get to choose. But there are spiritual principles and ideas and universal law that really do connect back to selling. it really does connect back to it all when we put those things together. So that's what I'm going to be sharing, going to do with you today. And so today, I've named this podcast, believe it or not, I've named it The Bag Lady Leadership. And for those of you who love Erykah Badu, you know where I'm about to go with this, okay? And if you don't know who Erykah Badu is, I suggest that you Google her, you YouTube her, and you YouTube these lyrics. And I want to start with this song because this song describes the type of leadership that could be holding you back from receiving all of the sales and everything that you desire inside your business in 2026. So Erykah says this, bag lady, you gonna hurt your back, dragging all them bags like that. I guess nobody ever told you. All you must hold on to is you, baby. And so one of my favorite songs, but the song comes with a lot of lessons, a lot of insight. And so let's dive deeper into this today because there's so much to actually take away from what's being described. Erykah's really talking about emotional baggage, past hurts, traumas, fears, other people's problems that you are carrying on your back. Sound familiar? The bag lady described in the song is so busy carrying what doesn't belong to her that she's literally breaking her own back. Because nobody told her that the only thing she needs to hold on to is herself first. There's a clear warning. This way of moving through the world will hurt you. But there's a powerful invitation that I love, which is you can put the bags down. And so I don't know where you are in the world today, where you're listening to this podcast, but I just want to give you the permission that you may need. Girl, put those bags down. You get to put it down. You get to lay them down. You don't have to carry the world on top of you. You don't have to be carrying everybody else's problems because the next level of where you want to go, by the way, it's not possible to carry that heavy load whilst you're scaling. It's not possible to carry that heavy load when the life that you desire comes into play. Like, it's not possible. So it's either surrender the dream or it's either surrender the baggage, let go of the baggage. And today I'm inviting you to make a decision of what baggage you're gonna just finally put down. You're gonna lay it down because this is 2026. And at the beginning of the new year, every year, we're always presented with these concepts. Everybody says what their goals are, what their dreams are, how the year's gonna plan out. And it starts off really optimistic every single year. And the thread and the common theme and the pattern in the optimism usually is around, I want more. I want more, universe. I want more, God. I want more, source. I want more. I want more. I want more. Show me how I can have more. And yes, there's gratitude, but a lot of the time it's about wanting more. And so if you're saying to yourself, Jacinta, you're speaking to me right now. You've been speaking to me this whole time, and this is only the beginning. This is only the first 8 minutes into this thing. You are already speaking to me. Then I want you to consider this idea that you are asking for more at the top of 2026. You are asking to receive more money, maybe more money or more health or better quality relationships, like whatever the more is that you are asking for, that you are asking to receive. I want you to consider this idea that maybe, just maybe, the very thing that's in the way of you receiving is actually your capacity to receive. And maybe you don't have the capacity to receive right now what you're asking for because you carry everybody else's bullshit on your shoulders. Oh, are you ready for this? Because we're gonna get deeper into this. We're gonna be real, and if you want the realness, then this is for you. So, the bag lady CEO, that is who I'm describing. The bag lady CEO. And maybe that bag lady CEO right now is you. Right now, maybe you're carrying your team's emotional regulation. What do I mean by that? Well, there's a difference between listening to problems. Part of leadership is listening to people's problems all the time, but it's what you do with those problems. And it's understanding when those problems are for you to problem solve and when they are for other people to actually problem solve. So if in your leadership right now with your team, you do not have a clear pathway of how to lead them to emotionally regulate themselves, but you are kind of being the mother to everybody and you're just carrying everything all the time and you're over nurturing to the point where you feel burnt out, I'm just going to give you permission right now. Say, I am not your mother. It's okay. It's okay. Like, it's okay. And maybe you're doing that because you've been rewarded for being like that for so long that it's the only thing you know. Like, imagine you have been rewarded and exalted for fixing everybody else's problems all the time. And you are the go-to person within your group, within your circle, within your family. Everybody comes to you to fix things. And so you become this fixer. And it's just normalized for you. It's just completely normal for you to fix things. However, as you scale a business, as you bring in more sales, you have to be able to delegate to other people, outsource to other experts on how to fix things. You cannot fix everything for yourself. And also, a number one thing is also to teach other people how to lead themselves. And if you're not doing that and you're listening to this and you're going, yeah, that's me. I'm just running around crazy, absolutely doing everything. I'm inviting you to take a look at that this part of 2026. Or maybe you're a coach. Maybe you're a coach and you're carrying your client's transformation. And what I mean by that is maybe you're the type of coach that clients come to you to help them heal, to help themselves move forward with their goals and dreams. Maybe you help people with their health, whatever that is. Maybe you're walking around believing that the client's transformation is only your responsibility. And you're not giving your client any room to lead themselves to actually do the work. Like, imagine you give your client specific things to follow, homework and things to do, but they come back to your sessions and they haven't done any of the work. But you don't say anything to them because I don't want to be disliked. Or because you know what? I want them to be a repeat client again. So you just hold back all of the genius that you could be sharing with them, or you just hold back in making them accountable for what they said they want to do because you're carrying the client's transformation. How overwhelming is that? And if that's you right now, I give you permission, go switch it up. Like, teach them to lead themselves. Or maybe you're carrying your family's expectations. Maybe you're walking around with this sense, this feeling that this is the culture of my family. This is the expectations of my family. I can't embarrass them. I can't do anything outside of what they would deem as acceptable to this idea is keeping me in a box. And it's stopping my authentic voice from being revealed, from being shared, from being shown. And if that's you, maybe in 2026, that's the thing that's stopping you from receiving. Or maybe you're just the good girl. You're just carrying the good girl conditioning. And when I talk about the good girl, I am only referring to this concept. And it's the concept that you have total and complete compliance. You're not thinking for yourself. You're abandoning yourself. You're just being that compliant fixer person. But it's not you. It's not grounded in your essence, your magic, who you are. It's a frequency of everybody else but you. Is a penny dropping yet? Is this resonating? And maybe you have followed a self-sacrificing story as the bag lady CEO. Maybe the self-sacrificing story has been, even in the midst of your own suffering, of your own problems, of your own stuff that you're going through, that you have to take on everybody else's problems, even in the midst of your own, and put yourself last. Or maybe that martyrdom is dressed up as service. Burnout is branded as dedication. These are concepts that a lot of the time we have been rewarded and exalted as women to do, become, believe, and execute. And we've done it for such a long time that when we decide to step out and to build our own businesses or step out and do something unique that's outside of the norm, outside of convention, we're bringing this archetype with us because we've rehearsed and practiced this archetype for so long that we don't even know how to be ourselves. Because who am I if I'm not problem solving and fixing this thing for other people before my own? I want you to consider that idea, because it really suggests that you're holding other people's stuff that isn't yours. So ask yourself in this moment, what am I holding that isn't truly mine? That's stopping me from receiving? That's lessening my energy? That's not making me effective as a leader? So I want to dive deeper into this and break this down a little bit more. So the Bag Lady CEO can be broken up into these 3 ideas, and there's more, but I'm just going to stick with these 3 for now. And concept 1 is people pleasing in your leadership. So saying yes when your body is screaming no. How many times have you done that? Be honest. How many times have you said yes when you knew it was a no? And the result of doing that thing, it would just, there was no payoff for you. It just felt worse doing that thing, you know? I've seen a lot of women do this time and time and time and time again, even especially in the high ticket sales space, where because you don't feel worthy of your own genius, of what you're offering, of who you are and what you're doing, you choose likability over effectiveness. So client will call you at a specific time. This is your time to do something. You're not working, but you answer the call, even though you told yourself that you were not going to do that. And then you have this whole conversation with yourself about abandonment, and you feel this resentment inside your body. But whose fault is it? Well, yours, because you chose people pleasing over effectiveness, over having boundaries over what you actually need to be able to thrive. Or maybe in the people pleasing leadership, you're making yourself smaller so that others feel comfortable around you. Imagine that right now you are bringing in sales inside your business and you have friends that are not doing the same thing as you. And you just want to share some of the successful things that you're doing. You're just excited and you want to share that, and you share that with them. And actually, no, you don't share that with them, because as you're about to share it, a thought drops into your mind. Actually, they're going to feel really uncomfortable. Actually, they're not going to get this. Actually, and you just keep yourself small. You don't say any of your wins, because really you just think everybody's going to hate you. And if that's the case and your friends can't be excited for you when you are succeeding, then maybe these aren't your friends. Maybe you need to find a new circle. Maybe you need to find other people that are on the same journey as you, that actually want to celebrate because they are just as ambitious as you are. Or maybe like you stay silent to keep the peace, and you sacrifice. Now, the biggest way I have seen clients do this time and time and time again in sales is actually in their sales calls and sales conversations, where they choose being liked in a sales call rather than being effective. So what I mean by that is, let's imagine you've gone through the sales call, you've gone through all of the questions, and you get to the very end of the sales call, and the person actually wants your feedback on how they get to the next level, where they go. And maybe there's a suggestion in there that will feel quite cutting. There's a suggestion that's might feel quite harsh because of where they are and what it will really take for them to get to that new level. And instead of being honest and sharing that wisdom, that genius with them, you decide in that moment to just play it down and choose likability, because if they like me, they will buy. Nonsense. If they like me, they will buy. If you sell on that basis, that is going to be the worst relationship you have inside your business, because you've sold them under an illusion. And you have to say to yourself, is it worth getting the sale if this sale is only going to turn into a refund because I haven't been sincere with actually what it's going to take for them to actually move forward, and if they're serious about this? But leaders that actually choose effectiveness over people pleasing are leaders that accept, not everybody's going to like me. I am not for everybody. But those that see the genius in what I do, they are going to be the ones that receive the transformation, because they agree with being effective over likability. Woo! You feel that? You feel that? Are you saying, oh, Jacinta, you're speaking to me, you're speaking to me, you're speaking to me? Well, we've got a couple more to go, and then we're going to get to the solutions, because I'm a solutions bunny, okay? I'm a solutions girly. So that's the people pleasing side. But another area where I see a lot of women leaders do this, and it cripples their sales, it cripples their business, it cripples like anything that try to manifest, it just cripples it. It's biting your tongue, not saying what you mean, not saying what you really want to say. And if you have a business that's based around your personal brand, biting your tongue is just death to your business, because who's going to know what you believe, who you are, to even align with you, to align with, oh, well, yeah, this sounds interesting. This sounds like the person for me. But biting your tongue is usually because, again, it's another people pleasing thing. It's, I just want to keep the peace. I don't want to disturb anything. But imagine your wealth, your money, your abundance is tied around the words that you speak, the words that you communicate. And the words that you communicate needs to be the truth of actually who you are. Needs to be the truth of what you do, your genius, your experiences that you're coming to. Or maybe you bite your tongue because you know what? I don't want to be seen as a bragger. I've seen so many women dim their light because they think as soon as I say something, I am now going to be deemed as a bragger. Girl, get out your own way. You have to be able to promote yourself, because if you can't speak highly of the things that you've done and you cannot promote yourself, then your business is always going to have zero sales. It's always going to have zero sales. And last thing is this, and I love this part. This is the I will receive when. This is I will receive when the conditions get better. I will receive when I feel more healed. I will receive when I'm more ready. I will receive when I'm more qualified and the qualifications are hitting. I will, like, all procrastination, nonsense, because you can receive now. And if you stay in the zone of being ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, you are never, ever going to be ready. You're never going to feel ready. But receiving isn't a reward for readiness. It's a reward of practice. It's a reward of demonstration. It's a reward of people that do it, do the work, put themselves out there and try again. That is the reward of receiving. So what if receiving more started with leading yourself like someone who has it already in 2026? What if that is actually what it takes this year? That you can look back and say, do you know what? I received everything that I set out to receive because I opened up my capacity. I completely laid down and let go of what doesn't serve me. Those heavy bags, I don't know if where you're listening to this, if you're in the UK, America, where in the world you are, but if you're in the UK and you're an M&S girly like me, maybe you've got your M&S bags, right? Maybe you got your M&S bags on your shoulders, one on each side. Or maybe if you're in America, you're a Walmart, Whole Foods person, and you've got these bags on the sides of your body. And both of these bags are just filled with stuff. And it's not your groceries. It's everybody else's groceries. And you can't barely walk to the car. I want you to imagine that you are laying those grocery bags down on the floor because they are not yours. Period. They are not yours. And so here are the solutions now to move forward, because this year is about receiving it all. This year is about being consistent. This year is about stepping into your own certainty and your own level of confidence in ways maybe you've never done it before, in ways that you've never experienced or felt before. So here's this sales leadership secret, a solution. Here's what nobody tells you about selling that you need to hear, baby, okay? The sale doesn't happen when they say yes. I'm going to say it again. The sale doesn't actually happen when the person says yes. The sales happens way before then. There's multiple yeses that happen before you get the yes in the sales conversation. And if you don't show up, if you don't present your offers, if you don't do the marketing, if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't send the emails, then all of those micro tiny yeses that you need to get to the actual ultimate yes of them paying for your service, you actually won't receive that. But the first yes starts with you. It starts with you acting with certainty and confidence in ways that actually vibrate with people, and they want to be on that frequency with you, and they feel your confidence. You have the skills and the knowledge, and yes, they want to work with you, but it doesn't happen just at the end of a sales call. There's so many micro yeses that happen before that. And the yes has to start inside of you. And the sale also happens when you stop carrying their decision. You are there to help people decide, but it's not for you to make them decide. You present them with the knowledge, with the ideas, and with the solution. It's up to them if they take the solution or not. You have to decide that regardless of whether they say that yes or say that no, how you're going to show up, how you're going to be. Because if you're going to have stinky sales breath, which is desperation, people are going to smell that a mile off, a mile away. And you have to decide within yourself that no matter this, I'm going to succeed. No matter if I get this sale or not, the next one's there. The next one's there. The certainty comes from within. It has to start with you. It has to begin with you. And when you put down the bag of, I need to convince them, you'll stop having that energy of desperation, that frequency signature of panic, of loss, because it's not your job to convince anybody. It's your job to be certain. It's your job to present the solution. It's your job to understand, does your solution actually help this person's situation? And if it doesn't, be confident enough to recommend something else to them. I've seen time and time again, people lose out on sales because of lack of integrity. And what I mean by that is clearly their solution is not quite right for that person. But what they do is they shift it and try to fit it into a box and still sell it to that person. And they lose that sale. But I've seen, and this is something that I've done in my sales career and in my sales leadership, and I've taught other people to do this. And it just works so well because it creates so much trust with people because it's genuine. You decide that actually this is not for you and you say no to the person for the sale because you know, yes, you could take their money, but long term, is this actually going to serve them with what they want? But you know what you do? You be the bigger boss, bigger baller, and you can recommend something that would be better for them. Do you know how many times that I've recommended something being better for somebody? And then whether it's a year later, whether it's 6 months later, they've come back to me because they remember, do you know what? Jacinta wasn't greedy. Jacinta wasn't in it for herself. Jacinta really is about transformation. She really wanted to actually help me. That goes a long way when it comes to sales leadership. You have to decide what type of sales leader this year you are going to be. Because even if you don't get the sale in this moment today, you always have to think, this could be a sale I get at the end of the year. This could be a sale that I get in 6 months' time. So you want to be able to stand in integrity and lead the person in the right way. Help them to have the solution that actually works for them. You feel me? And when you just put down the bag of, I need this sale to prove I'm good enough. Oh, child. So many coaches, so many women leaders do this. And it's this repetition of, when I make this sale, I am going to be good enough. But you actually have to feel good enough before you make the sale. You have to make yourself feel good enough before you make the sale. And that comes through repetition. That comes through rehearsal. So what do I mean? If this is your first high ticket offer that you're building and you've never built this type of offer before, but you do have the expertise around it, you do know what you're doing because maybe you haven't done it online before, but you've done it offline, right? Then what you need to do is spend time presenting the offer in practice rooms so that you feel more confident around the communication of delivering the offer. Because in that repetition, you're going to feel more comfortable. The thing that you can't do is if you feel like an imposter with your offer because it's something you haven't done before and you don't actually have the skill, go and develop the skill for it. There's no way around that. Go and actually develop the skill. But if you have the skill and it's just about the presenting and the communication and the belief system, then that's a whole different thing. We can definitely fix that, but it starts with you. Everything starts with you. So if you are listening to this and you're like, "Do you know what? I am expanding my capacity, Jacinta. I agree to receive this year. I'm stepping all in. I'm going to be the CEO of my dreams. I'm no longer going to be the bag lady. I'm no longer going to lead with bag lady leadership. I'm going to be that spiritual CEO, that coach who sells with high level frequency." Then the high level frequency you need to embody is the version of you that holds space without holding baggage, the version of yourself that invites without attaching, the version of yourself that desires without desperation, that receives without apology, because she leads herself first. Woo! What if this year self-leadership just looked like radical self-loyalty rather than abandonment? So if you want to integrate this conversation today inside your life, inside your business, inside your sales, if you want to integrate this concept of no longer being the bag lady leader, but stepping into being the leader of your dreams, then I want you to identify one bag you're carrying that isn't yours. Do that this week. Just identify one bag you're carrying that isn't actually yours. Put it down. Even if it feels uncomfortable, even if people react, just put it down. And putting it down, maybe you may have to set up boundaries. Putting it down, maybe you have to say no. Putting it down, maybe it's a habit you no longer do. And just notice what you actually have capacity to receive when your hands and your energy just feels more free. Like when your mind is not worrying over this thing and it has the space to think about where you're going, where you expand. So take that with you, do that work, because your voice is your wealth, but you can't speak your truth when your mouth is full of everyone else's needs. Girl, put the bags down. Pick up your power. Lead yourself like the spiritual baddie CEO you already are. This has been a powerful first episode. I'm so locked in for this journey. I hope you are. We are definitely taking this stuff to the moon, baby.